Okay, guys, welcome to Skilled Inspirational Academy. So, sorry for little delay. I have some emergency. So, let me start now. I hope you just tell me on the chat whether you are able to listen me properly so that I can start. Just ping me. Okay. So, guys, this is regarding a F5 webinar where I am starting a new batch. As you know that live batch will start from 7th May and it's a weekend class 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. IST. And duration will be around more than 1 month. And what are the facilities that will be covered in these classes? You will be getting lifetime recorded videos. There is no limitation. Plus, you can set up your lab in your laptop. If you have some issues, you can set up in Google Cloud also. And this will be English batch rather than Hindi. So it will be not Hindi batch. It will be English batch now this time. Previous batch was Hindi. So in once a year we did one batch. Now we will have every batch in English. And this course will cover all the things which are covered in LTM. So F5 has first module which is called LTM and it will cover 101, 201 and 301. And this will cover all practical theory plus you will also be able to clear your interview and you can work in production environment. So I'll be covering that agenda which will help you not in doing the lab plus it will help you in working in production environment. So we will cover all that scenarios. Plus guys, we will have interview students. Let's say one of the student call me and tell me, sir, I have an interview after 2 days. So we will discuss what type of questions can be asked in interview. And guys, for doubt session, let's say you're not able to attend any class, but you are watching video and you have doubts. In that case, guys, you can call me Monday to Friday for doubt session also. So let's start with our agenda for today. First, I will be giving you the introduction of load balancer, how the hardware looks like. Then we will do some lab setup for initial. So this class will cover that agenda. Then at the last, I'll be taking some Q&A sessions plus mock interview. So that what type of questions can be asked from. So every day after the class, what I do is I take an interview session also. Or maybe later on, we ask that questions like from this topic, what are the important questions? So I try to cover that questions also in an mannered way so that you can come to know what topics, what interview questions can be asked from that topic. So let me open first the course agenda for this, like what are the things we will be covering, then we will cover the topics. So guys, these are the course content for this class. And we will be starting with introduction first. What is F5? And the operating system which has been used in F5 is called TMOS, guys. This has been asked in every interview, even in production environment. So all these classes will be your GUI plus CLI. And we will first start with the architecture, how the F5 looks like and why it is in demand. So nowadays, guys, everything is moving in cloud. So they are focusing on hybrid model nowadays. So even if it's in moving in cloud, you should know that's why we are doing lab in our virtual edition. So what we do in cloud is They just prepare an instance and they deploy F5 on top of it. So whether it's an AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, they will prepare one instance and they will deploy F5 in that environment. So this course will contain both CLI plus GUI because nowadays automation requires your CLI knowledge. So that is also covered. Then we will do the lab setup, which is very, very important, guys. You can build lab in your laptop, or if someone, I first prefer this, if someone has some issues, then they can build in Google Cloud. So this is just an agenda. It has many topics in this. It has many topics in this. So we will cover separate. You can check, I will tell you where you can check the full course content. Next topic will be your load balancing algo. So you should know every topic and how it works. So we will start with that course agenda. Then we will cover health monitor. There are different types of health monitor, why it is required, what is the working agenda. So let's say we have an F5, okay. In our environment, company said that I want to implement F5 and I have an application. And I will ask that first question to the customer, like how many backend servers, how many web servers you need to deploy. Guys, whenever you deploy F5 load balancer in any company, you should first ask what type of questions. So many people come to me. So let me discuss first. So meanwhile, I will tell you the course agenda later on. Let me draw a picture which will help you with the customer requirement. I have one when you deploy a load balancer. So let me open so that you get a knowledge on that, because that is the first thing you should know. Let's say customer come to me, hey Vidit, I want to deploy F5 in my company. So can you help me to deploy that? In that case, what we ask in company that how many servers are in backend? That is the first question. So F5 is called your application delivery controller. It is called application delivery controller. So in this case, what does it mean? So guys, my F5 comes into picture in a man in middle. Let's say I have a client, then I have a firewall, then I have an F5. Then we have some web servers. So some people say it's a web server. Some people say it's an application server. Some people say it's an backend server. So all these terms are similar. So if I ask you what is web server or what is an application server, so this is where your original application is hosted. So whenever you deploy any load balancer, whether in cloud or in hardware or a virtual edition, you should know this. You should know what need to be asked from the customer. So first question you will ask is, how many application you need to deploy in F5? That is the first question. So customer says, I need to deploy 5 application in my F5. Now, if I want to ask you, what does this 5 application means? Can someone tell me? What does this 5 application means in F5 load balancer? So let me unmute you all. So I will keep this session interactive so that it's a webinar also. And I want to understand what are your requirements and why you are here. What are the difficulties you face when you deploy F5? So can someone tell me, what does this 5 application means in F5? What you do in this? Let's say customer would say is, I want to deploy 5 application in my F5 load balancer. So what does it mean? Can anyone tell me? I've unmuted you all. You can tell me that. Can
Five
anyone? explain me what does this 5 application means.
5 VIP we need to create
5 VIP.
in load balancer.
We have to deploy 5 VIP.
Just hold on. Now you can go ahead and tell me what does this 5 application means in F5. Someone, you can just go one by one because this will help you, because my main agenda is you should know how F5 works. See, load balancer, I will tell you what is the load balancer. So load balancer is the concept where your traffic comes from client. He wants to access google.com or SIANETS.com. But why F5 came into picture? Because there are a lot of customers on the internet. So F5 makes sure that if multiple client request comes to cnets.com, which is one of the application in F5, he can handle load to multiple server. If we don't have load balancer, guys, your server will get overloaded. Let's say you are in a company, your manager is hiring some 10 people. So he knows how to manage the load. So that is what load balancer means. So can someone tell me what does this 5 application means now? Just for 5 minutes, let's have an interactive, then I will proceed.
5 app will we have to create 5 VIP for these 5 application to deploy in our NetScaler or F5 something.
Okay, what would be the questions you will ask from the customer? That is my next question.
Bandwidth, how user will be connect here, and what is the
Vidutji, I would ask the basic question from the client that
Yeah, because
about
that is the question which you will come to know in every production environment. You need to ask customer before deploying F5. So what are that questions which you ask? So first question he asked is bandwidth.
server.
license.
How many servers?
License.
Okay.
Kind of services needed
Sir, application behavior
on
and
this
traffic
application
load.
server.
One by one, guys. One told me bandwidth. One told me license. Can someone tell me why license? What does mean by license? How it will have 5 will help on that. Can someone tell me what does license?
I won't ask for license. I would rather ask for the topology or the load balancing mechanism and the SSL certificates parameters where it will reside, whether in the load balancer or whether it will be in the both side load balancer as well as on the server, or it will be will it be a pass through. So all these things I will ask, and I would also like to know the load balancing mechanism, how they are configuring at their end, so that we can also configure the same at our end. And possibly I would also ask the monitoring or profile parameters if required. If they don't require, then I would go simply by round robin or least connection methods. So these are the basic things I would ask, and also definitely the ports and protocol at which the backend member and the public facing VIP will be should be configured. So I would ask all these questions.
Okay, excellent. Very good answer. Anyone else wants to add something on this? My question is, I want to deploy F5 load balancer. So what are the requirements I need from the customer?
First, I'll ask about the deployment, like it is.
Because this
one or
course is
more,
not like
two
operation.
hour deployment.
I will be covering implementation, design part, plus operations. So this course does not mean that you are good in operation. I'll be covering scenarios from design, implementation, and operations. So please go ahead, guys. You were saying something, go ahead.
First, I will ask whether it is one arm or two arm deployment. Like if the user want one arm or two arm, and just next I will ask for the application servers, and they will, and then I will ask for the load balancing methods, like whether you want round robin or escalation, and after that for the application servers, I will ask like what type of health monitor you want, like whether TCP, HTTP, like that. Like after that, I will ask like whether you want TCP
Sir, your voice is breaking little bit. I would shift to another person. Can someone tell me? Then I will proceed.
I can add 2 points. One is if client requires session stickiness or not in order to make the session call for his application. Second is load balancing algorithm. I feel that those two were missing.
Okay, great. So no one told me about the network architecture, whether you have a firewall in the picture or whether you have a router switches. No one told me about that. You will not ask about network architecture.
Sir, you asked about the applications, right?
No,
It's not about the
question
deploying
is,
the
my
F5.
question is, sir, my question is, I need to deploy F5. Customer come to me. What's your name? Let's say I take one of the
Okay,
name
okay.
from this. Abe, let's say maybe Abhishek. Customer came to Abhishek and he asked that I need to deploy load balancer. So what are the things you will ask from customer and what are the things you will take care? So that is my question. Because see, you need to see the network architecture. So does it matter or not, anyone? Whether network architecture of the customer is important to understand or not when you deploy any new device.
Yes, it's required.
So what you will check in that?
How current application flow is going on.
Can I add something, sir?
Yeah, sir,
Tanvir.
this is an open for 5 minutes, then I will answer all your questions.
Okay, so the netting is very important on this. Also, the routing and certificates for of SSL uploading. And these 3 things, I guess, in the beginning, very important.
One more you can ask that was what type of load balance they are expecting. Okay.
Excellent. This was the answer I was looking, whether they are looking for simple load balancer or their applications are HTTP. Very good answer.
And what type of service are available they want? The TCP want, that HTTP want, what type of service they're
good, very good. So that is, so I will write 10 points. So this is very important question, guys. This will be asked in every interview in production also. My question was, I need to deploy F5 in my market and for my customer. What are the questions which I will ask? And in my environment, F5 was not there. So previously I have a client coming from internet, then I have an ISP router, then I have a firewall coming into picture, then I have a layer 2 switch, let's say, and then I have a servers. It can be layer 2 switch or layer 3. Now, in this environment, I want to deploy F5. So can someone tell me now what are the things? How you will take care? First of question you will ask is,
Are you using any load balancing technology earlier?
no. Sir, load balancer they want to use now. My question is, it's a new F5, which they are not.
How many applications we have to support?
Yeah, that is the first question, because first, always you need to check the license.
And we will ask for HLD and LLD.
Excellent. That
And
is what I was
after that,
expecting.
how many
No, hold on.
services? Okay.
Hold on now. What is difference between HLD and LLD? Many people are very new, but guys, this demo or this webinar, I don't think it's a free or something. I want to cover many things. So this will really help you. Now, what is HLD and LLD? How it will help Mr. ABC? Let's say your name is ABC. Please tell me.
High level diagram and low level diagram.
Okay, what is the difference between them? How? So this question will be asked in every interview. What does HLD and LLD means?
So low level diagram, we are covering all our links and the routers, and HLD.
So can I say LLD is a physical diagram where it mention all the ports and everything?
Yes.
How the physical connectivity is.
Where may specify the port and the cables and the device will be available. LLD. A high level data that is for
High level is basically a logical diagram, I can say. Excellent. Now you got the environment. Now, second question you will ask is whether you want to deploy only load balancing features, or you want a security features also, or you want a DNS solution. So when we have a load balancer in picture, we have many technologies. So one of the technologies called LTM, which is called local traffic manager, that is acting as a layer 4 plus layer 7 load balancer. Then there is a concept called DNS, which is called GTM. Another concept which comes is your ASM or a WAF. So you will ask customer whether your applications are deployed in multiple data centers or it's deployed only in one data center. Do you want any DC-DR architecture or not? This question you will ask or not, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong anywhere. Because these are the very important points, guys, which I'm covering today. So I don't want you guys to miss this because this is totally on design plus implementation. So you need to understand whether customer only wants a load balancer features. So how it will help? Can someone tell me what is the difference between LTM and GTM? Why it is called local and why it is called global? If someone asks you why F5 has given this local, because L plus G, right? TM is traffic manager. See, load balancer is like I am a load balancer. I am coming between your client and a web server. But F5 wants to distribute traffic between multiple servers so that one server does not get overloaded. Now, my question is, what is the difference between LTM versus GTM, guys? Anyone? It's for your benefit, guys. It will not benefit me.
GTM is
Vinay,
among our different sites for load
Hold on,
balancing.
let me draw a picture for you guys. My question is, what is the difference between LTM versus GTM? Because this question will be asked in every interview. Even when you deploy any production environment, customer says that I have a GTM already. Now I want to deploy LTM. So first question is, you should understand a very basic difference between them. So I have a client, I have F5, I have servers. Here also I have a client, I have F5, I have servers. Now tell me the difference. Because F5 is acting as a middleman or a proxy device. I will come into that concept. First of all, can you tell me what is the difference between LTM versus GTM? Now go ahead.
LTM is something which is in the same data center,
Excellent.
and
That is why it
GTM
is called local. Any confusion, guys? Anyone has on that? Please ask.
GTM is it can be in a different data center.
Excellent. So that is why it is called global.
And
So customer has a requirement that, hey, with it, I want to deploy servers in different data centers. My servers are in UK, US, same application is in Australia. So in that case, what you will propose, GTM or an LTM? He said
GTM.
that I want such a device where my application are across different data center.
GTM.
Okay. Now, in which case
Both.
LTM? In which case LTM is deployed? So in LTM is deployed where your F5 and your servers are in same data center.
On-prem.
Any confusion anyone has on this? So that is the main difference, guys. Don't get any time confused between this. I can guarantee you this question will be asked every time. Now, my question to you guys, what are the advantages of F5? F5, I will tell you first now, just for 1 minute. F5 is a company which is like Juniper, Cisco. They have a product called load balancer. It is not a load balancer. They have many products, but they have introduced a product called Big IP. So they have named that product as Big IP. So you can see F5 is a company and Big IP is a product. So don't get confused in this. And in this Big IP, there are different modules. One is LTM, one is GTM, and one is ASM. So in this training, I will be covering LTM full, GTM and ASM, I will do it later on. Now my question to you is, this is load. Now, what is the advantage of load balancer? Why customer requires a load balancer? Anyone?
For
It's working
24 cross
full
7
proxy.
availability, resiliency, performance improvement, zero downtime.
So you are saying first advantage of using load balancer. Can you tell me what is the first advantage of using load balancer?
24 cross 7 availability.
It
Excellent.
distributes
Any other?
it distributes client request
Improved performance.
load balancer.
Hold on. Why it is 24/7? What does 24/7 means?
24 cross 7 means it should be available, the application should be available 24 cross 7 with zero downtime. So if in case your any of the system within the load balancer have some issues, you can remove it from the load balancer without impacting the services existing client experience. So if any of the server or the services on the load balancer is having any issue, the client will face intermittent connection issues.
Full proxy.
Full proxy will come later on, but that is one of the advantage. So excellent answer by you. 24/7 availability. So what happened when we did not have load balancer? In that case, we generally have client, then we have a firewall, then we have server. So in that case, what was the disadvantage was your application is globally. Globally means SIANETS.com is accessible over internet. In that case, what customer were facing was slowness issues, because this server, let's say, can handle only 100 requests per second. In that case, what will happen is, sorry, I have to unmuted you all because there was some disturbance. So what was happening in that case, customer was saying that I have an application which is globally accessible over internet and I have a lot of load. But server can handle 100 requests per second. So in that case, there was an issue of slowness because my customer, it is sending 50 requests. This customer is also sending 50 requests. This customer is also sending 50 requests per second. So this server was becoming overutilized. First disadvantage without a load balancer. Second thing, guys, if this server goes down, then what will happen? My customer says that Vidit, I am paying you. I need my application 24/7 accessible. SIANETS.com should never be down. If it goes down, I will penalize you. I don't care whether you have a good resource or not good. I will penalize you if I don't get 100% availability. So this 100% availability came into F5. I will show you how it comes. Now my second question is, if this server goes down, what will happen? There is no redundancy. If this server goes down, there will be no redundancy. That is the second disadvantage without F5. Scalability. Why people are moving into cloud? Because it is flexible. It is scalable. Can anyone tell me what is scalable means? Let's say I have a customer, I have an F5 deployed in AWS. Then I have server 1, server 2. My customer says that I have an application called SIANETS.com where I will run a Christmas sale. When Christmas comes, my company is in US. When Christmas come, I will be running an offer. At that time, I want my application to be 24/7 plus no CPU hike. See, when you have lot of users coming to your F5, in that case, there can be a CPU issue. So to resolve this, guys, what came into picture. There is a concept came into picture is scalable. Even is guys, initially you have only used 2 server for load balancing. Some request will go to this server, some request will go to this server. In that case, still you are facing slowness issue. In that case, what you will do? Anyone? I'm using a load balancer also. I'm using 2 servers also behind load balancer. Still slowness issues are coming to me. What you will deploy in this? Let me unmute you because I want interactive, guys. Don't disturb in between. Don't, because this webinar, I don't think like a demo. I want an interactive. What does scalable means? Because these are the questions which have been asked in my interview when I was giving an interview. So what does scalable mean, guys? I'm saying my
Scalability means we can add or remove the servers anytime.
excellent. So that concept is called auto scaling. So it means whenever it feels that, let's say AWS feels that your servers are getting overloaded, so they will quickly populate a new server automatically. So that is called scalability. Now customers are moving on software as a service. Can someone tell me why they are moving, why they are utilizing software as a service? What is the advantage? Why customer is moving
Because
into?
here we can directly put our applications or software.
Sir, even in F5 we can put it, right? In on-premises you can put your servers. But why they are preferring cloud nowadays? Software as a service.
You don't need to have the hardwares now. It's available,
Oh,
readily available.
okay. But nowadays I have been seeing that many companies are moving into on-premises again because cloud is having more costlier. If you see future, they are preferring on-premises plus hybrid plus cloud, because alone cloud it is taking, because slowly you will come to know, right, your market, that if you move into cloud, how much cost it will cost you. So first advantage is why they are moving into cloud is they don't need a hardware. That is the first very good answer for that. Any other thing why they are moving into cloud?
Operation and maintenance.
Sorry, what was your answer on that?
Maintenance and operation cost.
Manageability.
Zero downtime.
What zero downtime? F5 is giving zero downtime. So
Development
even
and testing for that it could be one reason.
what about the security?
In development and testing, security is not but a major request. So we can go for
Sir,
development and testing.
I will not agree on that point. For me, a customer wants me to build an application that is 24/7. Okay. But for me, the first concern is security. Why people are coming, cyber attacks are happening? Can you tell me? If there is no security, will customer come to you? Is cloud capable to give you all security part? Previously, we were having firewalls, DDoS solutions, and other things, hybrid model. Even guys, cloud you are coming, but you need to check whether full security, even cloud is promising, AWS is giving you security, but that are not fully trusted. So that's why people come to me, they tell me that, sir, people are still referring F5. Why they are deploying Palo Alto in cloud? Why they are still preferring F5 in cloud? Why they are preferring FortiGate? Can someone tell me? Even cloud has a Palo Alto, cloud have a firewall, but why they are still going with Palo Alto?
To secure the traffic going to the server or the instance.
Okay, what are the other things? Why still they are preferring Palo Alto, F5 and FortiGate? They have a firewall.
Granular security.
Because they are
Excellent.
specialized in it. Because they are specialized.
In my
they are like
opinion, cloud
dedicated
providers
firewalls.
are specialized into providing compute resources, but they're not specialized in security, and therefore they need
Excellent.
some security specific vendors.
So can I say customer trust? Trust building
Financial
is more.
things.
One more thing, say Palo Alto firewall, it is a layer
Sorry, your voice is little breaking. Can you repeat once again? My question is, this will benefit you all guys, this question, because for me also, I also get confused. Why people are preferring Palo Alto F5 and FortiGate? Instead, they have a firewall.
Because
You
Palo
must be in
Alto,
operations. You must be working in an organization.
because Palo Alto and FortiGate, these are dedicated hardware and they have been made for security. So their hardware is capable for especially for security traffics.
I would say these are next
and
generation
also
firewall, so they
One by
have
one.
the inspection.
Security. They are saying granular security. One
yeah,
person said for compute resource they are going with. What does compute resource means, guys? Anyone? What does compute resource means in cloud? I want these answers from someone. What does compute resource means? What does computing means? Cloud plus computing.
There are different CPU for different
CPU,
services.
CPU, memory, storage,
Infra,
all these
just
things are
like a
compute.
infra.
So let's say I want to deploy Palo Alto, okay, in cloud.
Yeah,
What will
virtual
be the
machine.
requirement in that?
You'll run a virtual machine actually, right?
Excellent.
Yes. So VM is required.
So you will deploy one instance.
It's a OVA file actually. You can just power it up actually. You can put it in on virtual machine and then you can turn it on.
Great. So when I talk about F5 load balancer, guys, even they have a capability. They have introduced one feature called DSC, Distributed Cloud Services. Okay. They have WAF solution also, DDoS, everything. Now the first advantage for me is customer wants availability. So I will propose F5. First question answer. Second, scalability. F5 provides you scalable solution. Third advantage of deploying F5 is security. And one of the major feature F5 has a global traffic load balancing. Now, my question is, what is the difference between DNS versus GTM? He will say why I will go with GTM solution of F5 when I have a DNS. Can someone tell me if someone knows what is the
intelligent.
sorry?
GTM can do monitoring, whereas a regular DNS cannot. And also DNS, we can only do the round robin
Excellent.
load
That is the
balancing, but on
answer I was
GTM you could do
expecting.
many.
That was the answer I was expecting. DNS only performs round robin algo. While your GTM is intelligent, you can do topology based load balancing here. What does topology load balancing means? I have a GTM, I have a client, then client comes to GTM, then I have an LTM deployed in DC1, which is in US, then I will deploy one LTM in DC2, which is in UK. My one customer is in US data center. My one customer is in UK data center. So they want that US data center GTM should go to US. Why it is happening? Can anyone tell me why they want this setup that UK customer should go to UK data center? Why it is so?
For better latency.
Excellent. See, customer wants availability. Okay. Customer wants speed also. Their application should be fast enough.
Nowadays, it's a part of GDPR also.
Okay. GDPR, that I will talk later on because that is a part of cybersecurity. And now, can you tell me, like you have spoke about GDPR, what does GDPR means? Like what is the requirement? Is it you are talking about the compliance requirement? Is your GTM a part of compliance? I don't think. But anyways, we can talk later on. But
The
now
journal protection data. It's regarding the journal data protection regulation. It's for the European countries. Basically, they don't want to share their data with the other countries.
okay. That is again a security part, right? That is
It's compliance and mandatory regulations of the European Union.
okay. Yeah, not
So
an
its
issue.
data
That
should
is
not
fine.
pass beyond the Europe region. If it is passing also, there should be some regulations
No
applied.
problem. Now we have talked about LTM. We have talked about why F5 is required. We have talked about why GTM is required. Now another concern comes into security. Customer says with it, availability is fine. Okay, I am good with that. How you can promise about security? I have an environment, we have a client, we have a router, we have an F5, we have a servers. Now customer says, I want security also. So what you will suggest them? Again, I will draw a topology. My customer already have a client, he already have a router, he already have a firewall. Okay, then you can say switch, then servers. Now I have a F5 LTM also here. Now, why I have a firewall already who is providing me security, but still customer wants to go with WAF. Why? Anyone? So I will give you a basic so that you can give me the answer because many people are new. Just hold on. WAF is called a web application firewall, first of all. Even Palo Alto is called web application firewall. See, one of my client yesterday had an interview. So in that interview, people asked him about the question about Palo Alto WAF versus F5 WAF. I already have Palo Alto in my company. Why I should go with F5 WAF? This was the question been asked in interview yesterday with one of my student, and he was not able to answer that. So my question is, customer has an availability which is giving by load balancer. He is giving 24/7 guarantee that your application will be still be accessible. If one of the server goes down, second server will come up and it will give the capability of load balancing. Now, my question is customer wants a security. In that case, customer says that I have a Palo Alto. Should I still go with F5 WAF? Can anyone tell me the answer? This question will be
Uh,
asked in
WAF. Okay, WAF is a dedicated appliance for the web application.
Sir,
Things, okay,
Palo Alto is
the
also
WAF
providing WAF.
yeah, but it is so more granular things.
What does granule
But
mean?
for
I am a
actually the
fresher.
thing is
I don't know granule. Can you elaborate? What does granule means here?
so it's we can put many policies
Sir, I can put
based
in
on the
Palo Alto
traffic.
also. I can put in
Yes,
Palo
but
Alto
the
also.
Palo Alto is basically defined for the normal firewall things. But this is particularly based on the OWASP of top 10 and
Sir, Palo
F5
Alto
is in
also can
the
protect from a vast top 10 or not.
yeah it can protect, but this is dedicated for the web applications. Okay,
Sir,
Actually,
most of
customer does
F5
not
applications
have
WAF
money.
is
Customer
protecting
does
us
not
with
have
the
money.
automatic attacks. And
No, I don't agree on
Costing,
that.
Can I try answer?
costing, costing.
Sir, it will give redundancy in security. We can say that.
We can just buy a WAF license and
and
use it in
one
One
F5.
more
by
thing.
one, guys.
Hello,
See, it
and
will help
hello,
you
let
to
me complete.
revise also.
If you if the ASM it works along with the
Nitish, please keep quiet. You can answer. You have answered it. Let other people speak.
Okay,
Now I
and
will ask the question from someone else.
no,
Nitish, you were not
Can I
correct.
try?
Sorry.
Vidit, this is Madhu here.
Yeah, go one by one. Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, when in Palo Alto, when a request is coming from client, then so once you inspect is done, their connection table will be entered there. When servers is coming the response, then you will only check the connection table. Okay, afterwards you forward that.
Sir,
But
hold on. Let me draw what you were saying. Let me just so my question was very important question which will be asked in interview. What is the difference between Palo Alto WAF? Customer is having a firewall already. Why it should go with F5 WAF? So Madhu is answering. So what you were saying, let's say you have a firewall, okay? You have a client, then you have a server. Now tell me.
when the first request is come.
Okay, this is a request which is going to firewall. Okay,
Yeah.
that is the first. Okay.
So that will first will be inspection will be done. One inspection is done, that will their connection table will be into their request. Okay. So when reply the request come from server, so that also once you check that connection table available, it forward that traffic. But in F5, what will do when request is come to F5, that will inspection will be done and connection table also empty there. When from server itself that response back to client, that also inspection will be done and forward to client.
Okay, excellent. So guys, my question to you is, can firewall detect response traffic if there is a changes at server end? Can F5 can Palo Alto detect that response traffic?
No.
Because firewall only work on inspection on request traffic. Can firewall detect your response traffic? No. Let's say I have a hacker. I have done some changes on server. I have modified some parameters and I have taken an access. Can your firewall detect what changes have been done on server end? No, guys. So Madhu, your answer was correct. Any other? This was a best answer which you can give. I need a three answer. One more answer, anyone?
Fundamental difference between Palo Alto and
WAF
F5.
can only be deployed as a virtual appliance, where F5 can be deployed any physical and virtual.
No, sir, that is not right. Palo Alto can be deployed as a virtual, as an hardware, as a cloud. Raj.
Hello.
Fundamental
Palo
difference
Alto
between
and
Palo.
F5
But
both
Palo
can be
Alto, there
deployed.
is a only single pass architecture, but in F5 there is a multi-pass architecture. It means you can, detect your traffic in multiple, inspect your traffic multiple times.
Okay, and not right, sir. Anyone else?
F5 is actually a reverse proxy meant to host an application, which is not the case with Palo Alto, which means F5
Excellent.
keeps two session with SSL decryption. It would have entire visibility for WAP to efficiently work, which is very unlikely with Palo Alto.
Excellent. So what he was saying is, first answer was Palo Alto versus F5 WAF was Palo Alto does not have a capability to detect response traffic. Second difference is your Palo Alto is deployed mostly in network architecture versus F5 WAF is deployed near to your application servers. So it can protect your whole network incoming and outgoing, but F5 has been added to protect your web application server. What does it means is F5 has a learning engine. So can Palo Alto detect whether you are using server technology as .NET, Java? Can, let's say I have a firewall, okay? After firewall, there is a server which is deployed. Does firewall have a capability to detect what is the operating system running on the web server? What is the web protocol? Web protocol means Apache or Linux. Let's say operating system customer is using Linux. Can Palo Alto detect that? Can Palo Alto apply a tag signature based on web protocol or a operating system or a server technology? Anyone? Does it have that capability?
No.
So F5 WAF is an added value. I'm not saying that you should remote Palo Alto. You should add Palo Alto plus WAF. WAF has a dedicated engine for traffic decoding plus knowledge of web protocol and language. What does it mean is he can be apply attack signature granular way. So my language is I'm using .NET. So I will apply signatures related to .NET. So he have a deep control over the web application. Second example would be your Palo Alto does not provide load balancing feature. F5 is providing you load balancing feature plus security both. And when I say, I will ask you one more question. I have a server here, which is called PHP server. Can Palo Alto firewall detects like in this server, which is the file type, what is the URL customer is trying to access, what are the parameters which are present in this? can it protect from parameter attacks? I am saying parameter tampering attack. Does firewall has a capability that server
No.
is running which parameter? Parameter is, I will give you an example. Parameter is called like name, password. These are parameter which has some value. When you fill a form, that is one of the parameter. In form, you will type your name, your password, your phone number. That are called your parameter. So I'm not sure someone has good knowledge on cybersecurity or application attacks. Let's say I'm using flipkart.com. Okay. In flipkart.com, I have a mobile phone. I want to buy a mobile phone, but there is a hacker who got an access of flipkart.com. Mobile phone was costing him 20,000 rupees. So he has done some tampering attack and he has changed the price to 1 rupees. Can firewall detect whether there is any parameter tampering attack happening or not? So that is not. So that is one of the another advantage. So I will say that always follow hybrid approach, guys. Palo Alto will work on their. So in a normal scenario, guys, you will have a client coming from internet. Then you have an ISP router. Then you have a DDoS. Then you will have one firewall. Then you will have WAF. LB plus WAF. Then you will talk about your servers. Now, guys, F5 can perform DDoS. Why I need a DDoS here? Anyone? Quickly. I've answered you. So you tell me this. This is the question which is asked next. When your DDoS is a why I need to use DDoS a separate device when I have an F5 DDoS also.
Can I try, Vidhi?
Sir, see, this is a platform where you can try, right? So you can try.
So DDoS, we from the DDoS, we try to prevent our network resources, right? So it's always recommended to put just after the ISP or the internet facing. Okay, if we introduce DDoS at the F5 level, then already we have welcomed the DDoS attack until my firewall. So I would answer like
Can
this.
I say that if this DDoS mostly perform volumetric attacks, this will prevent from volumetric attacks, but your F5 can protect from more granular DDoS. So what I say is, let's say this DDoS goes down, then it can be protected at this level. So always customer will want an hybrid approach. So this DDoS can protect all the things which is volumetric. Volumetric attack says pressure of the attack. See, F5 has a load balancer. F5 is acting as a WAF. Why should I overload him? Even F5 has a WAF. Even F5 has a firewall layer for AFM. If someone has heard about AFM, Advanced Firewall Manager, but still customer is going with Palo Alto. Why? Can someone tell me why customer always prefer hybrid approach? Why customer always go with hybrid approach? Anyone? This is a design question which will help
Distribute
you.
burdens on from one device.
Excellent. This is the answer.